You're watching The Buzz with Jess Lujan.
Good evening, Guam. I'm Jess Lujan. Welcome to this edition of The Buzz. Exciting evening. I have in studio Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. And of course, we're going to be talking about the topic of the talk of the town, basically. Bill 431-31, COR, as passed. Actually, you were the main author of the bill. Tell us again the genesis, basically, of this. We've kind of heard, of course, the public health situation the other night when you went into special session for this, and that's why again the public you circumvented the public hearing process because of the emergency situation that this bill called for. Senator?
Well, first of all, Senator, thank you very much again for having me here. It's always
a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. Yes, last week we were told that public health would enter into MOU with the Mayor's Council to take over the senior center operations. And of course, the individuals at GARP-SPEMA were very concerned, because they've had this contract with the government for the past 43 years. And so, they wanted the opportunity to again submit a proposal through the competitive procurement process. And unfortunately, that wasn't done by public health. And so we've met with the stakeholders. We've met with the Director of Public Health, GARP-SPEMA, Speaker Wampat, and Senator Palacios in my office. And we said, this is something that we need to resolve. And all along, public health's intention was to, they said, put it out for RFP, but, public health had said if they had the statutory authority to extend the existing contract until a invitation for bid was issued, they would extend it. But it was clear, they said through the, their legal counsel, that they did not have that authority.
No, I was listening to the presentations actually by the of course the director of public health, Mr. James Gillian, and I personally enjoyed Mr. Gillian as well. But it said that in the process, as they pretty much got their budget, looked at the shortfalls of all the I guess 3 entities of the senior citizens division, that they needed to cut basically I guess $20,000 from the existing the contract.
That's right.
So they what he said was he approached GARP-SPEMA whether or not they can do it for this amount. I guess the GARP-SPEMA had talked it over, met on it, and said, hey, look, we're going to hold you to the contract. And as I guess reactionary move, hold you to the contract. I guess in the thought of, we can't go without servicing the Manumco. So in that process, he approached the mayor's council, and I guess it's an easy transition as one who used to have oversight of senior citizens as well, like you do now. I guess it's easy to look at the mayors because all the centers are basically located and are maintained by the mayor. So it's an easy transition or easy place to go to say, hey, can you do this? And I guess the mayor said, yeah, we can. We can do this for that amount.
That's right. And I think there's many issues here, and I think everyone should understand. The beginning of the fiscal year, in October, that's when public health had approached all the providers in the senior citizen program and said, look, we were facing a reduction in this fiscal year, and so we're asking all the providers to reduce their costs, reduce their operations. And
for all the different sections of senior citizens.
That's right. Yeah, and so we saw the transportation providers say, okay, we're going to cut off 1 day a week, so they ceased Monday transportation, and so you had the food vendor as well, stop providing bottled water to each Manumco.
Okay.
With GARP-SPEMA, they said, they met with their board, and that's correct, and they said that they have a contract that ends in February, and so they said it was their fiduciary responsibility to protect that contract because they have other contracts and other things that depend on that contract. It's not just the senior centers that they do operations with, but they told public health clearly that in the next cycle, when this goes out for a bid, that's when they will reduce their, their operations. And so, what it seems like here, Senator, is that we're punishing a provider for saying, no, we want to stick to our contract. And that's what it looks like, that's what it appears, and that's what the Manamcos feel. And so that's where we're at today. And so they've always, and public health never made the indication to GARP-SPIMA or to anyone that we don't intend to provide, to carry the services through a nonprofit. All along they had the intention of approaching the mayors and having another government entity provide this service.
And I guess, and listening again to the presentation and to the question back and forth by the senators and the response by public health as well, I guess there was room for corrections in both entities in this whole thing, and we were left with a situation, and definitely nobody wants to not provide the service or have some disruption for our senior citizens. And so that being said, the bill was introduced, of course, Bill 431 it is, right?
Yes, 431 was introduced, and this was in collaboration with Public Health, with GARP-SPIMA. The director knew we were going to take this route. He even encouraged it, in that meeting. And so we left that meeting, knowing that this would be the last resort. At that time, I still hesitated to do any legislative action. I asked Director Gillen to please, once again, exhaust all administrative efforts to try to resolve this through extending GARP-SPIMA and immediately issuing the invitation for bid. Because my intention, the legislature's intention, was never to tell public health to go with GARP-SPIMA. This is
or anybody or the administration
or anybody. And so go through the procurement process. That's the correct way of doing it.
Hey, we'll be right back. If you want to chime in our conversation, it's 632-8255 or 632-TALK to chat to us about this. We'll be right back.